What's up, world? It's your boy Samson, and on this episode of Just Kicking It, we're gonna be kicking it with the leads at culture, food, and entertainment. Let's get into it.
Hey, how y'all doing today?
Great.
How are you?
I'm doing good. So, what is entrepreneurship for you guys?
Well, entrepreneurship to me is being your own boss, paying the cost to be the boss. Doing everything it takes to run your own business.
You?
I say the same thing. Finally, I don't have to take orders from nobody else,
Except for me.
just me.
Okay. So, on your way of being entrepreneurs, like, what were some of the bumps, ups and downs that you guys encountered going to just to bring culture to the people?
I think for us is knowing how to market yourself.
Okay.
Really doing your homework and really finding that spot for you to really get your name out there.
Mhm.
Because I must say, we know a lot of church people, but we don't know a lot of people outside of the church arena.
Right.
And because we're trying to reach people outside of that church arena, that has been a little bit of a challenge for us. And so we're finding out, as much as it may cost, and it is very expensive when it comes to marketing, that is such a great piece to the puzzle for you when you're starting your own business.
Okay, and you said in the church, so being pastors and you guys owning a bar and grill, does that ever affect your ministry going forward? Either or.
Well, actually, that was one of the things that we were concerned about when we first got culture, because we are, ministers, and we have a bar, not just a bar, a nice sized bar. And so we really prayed about it. And what we found is we've done more ministry here because when we're at the church, a lot of times it's people who, are already converted. It's just we're kind of watering people who've already been brought into the fold. But here we have an opportunity to reach people who may or may not ever come into the walls of the church. And it's so funny because we found that once they find out that, we are ministers or, we're people of the faith, they're more endeared to us because we have a bar.
Okay.
So it's for us, that's, it's God has really blown our mind with that,
right.
Because people are so willing to share. Y'all know people talk at bars. And so people are willing to share, and we're able to minister in ways that we couldn't inside the four walls of the church.
I feel like here it's more truth because it's like at church, you got your guard up, like you're trying to walk and be all that. But here it's like they let their guard down and then you actually see them and they bear their souls. And then with you guys in the faith, it's like you can like, hey, put that thing together. And you being a chef, we're gonna talk about that too. With you being a chef, like how do you talk to the people or minister to the people?
Well, one of the first things that come to mind is if you really look over there, if y'all could get a little glimpse or a capture of the bar, that bar ain't bothering nobody.
Nope.
It is the person who comes there who doesn't know when it's time to cut off how much they have been drinking. And so what our thing is we want people to come in and have a good time, but you got to know your limit. And so there is so many different levels of ministry until you have to let a person know, hey, this just may be your limit. This it for you. Right. You good now. But I think that sometimes people make it seem as though having a drink or just having a glass of wine is you on your way to hell. No, that's not true. And so why not come in and have a good time and enjoy yourself? You have to know what's your limit to be able to say, you know what, I'm good. I can enjoy the music. I can enjoy the food. But the drinking part of it, I got to cut it off. And so we have not had any problems where people are really clowning in here. People are really coming in here because they enjoy the whole culture experience. whether it's the music, whether it's the food, whether it's the drinking, whether it is people just having a good time and just letting your hair down. People come in here and they get the full package, and that's what we want people to leave out with. You can still be safe and still have a good time.
So what is culture?
That's it right there in a nutshell of you coming in and you experiencing not just some type of entree, but I try to do different types of foods, different things that you can be exposed to. We do a good grilled salmon, mashed potatoes, and sauteed spinach, or you might just get your smoked turkey necks and some collard greens and sweet potatoes. So we're not limiting ourselves on just a certain food item, but we're really trying to branch out there that people would enjoy all types of facets of food.
And so he's always going to talk about the food because he's the food portion, but I'm the entertainment portion. So really, Culture is a restaurant/live entertainment venue in the south suburbs of Chicago. That is a funny story about how we started Culture. So I used to have a program called Kingdom Performing Arts Academy. And so no matter what, Robert was always looking for a spot for me to have KPA2 again. He was always, we used to have a restaurant about 10, 12 years ago that we lost due to, it was flooded and we had a fire and that whole thing. So he always wanted another restaurant. So for our 25th anniversary, Robert Lee said, would you go somewhere with me? And so I'm like, okay, I'm thinking we going, I said, I need to dress. He was like, oh, it don't matter. And so I came outside with a little crop top on. He's like, where you going? We going around people. Hurt my little feelings, but whatever. So we pull up here, and it was about 3 or 4 in the afternoon on a Saturday. And so he, it was no other cars out here, but I saw that big live entertainment on the window. And so I'm like, oh, okay, live entertainment, because I love music. And so we walk in, and it's nobody in here. And so he said, do you like it? And I'm like, oh, okay, what is it? And so he was like, well, look around. Do you like it? And I'm like, well, it looks really nice. And he said, I want to buy it. And so I was like, okay, that's what we're doing? You just want to buy a space?
Right.
And so that was in August of 2019, and we closed December 6th of 2019 on this place. And so I think it's important that I tell y'all we closed, which means we're not leasing this place. We bought this place. So we jumped feet first all the way in, and then we opened on December 31st, and then we closed on March 16th due to COVID. But we're happy to say that we're still here and we're still open when a lot of businesses that have been in existence for years didn't make it through this. And so, going back to your challenges, COVID was one of our biggest challenges, for in business for us. Our first, we closed after being open 2.5 months because of the pandemic. So.
And so dealing with the pandemic, how has it been?
It's been rough, to be honest, because we were just at the point of building up. Now, we did really, really well in the first 2.5 months.
Those were some good.
Yeah, we started, people were coming. They were excited to have the type of establishment that we have because, it's not all, you got to hold your purse and your coat and stuff. So it's a nice environment. It's a different culture. So we had started building up and then we closed and, of course, at that time, nobody knew how long it was going to be. And then we went to complete shutdown.
Right.
So literally, again, we got a mortgage. So we're paying for a building that no revenue was coming in for 3 months. And we literally didn't open back up until the end of June, I believe it was. And then we were only open outside. And so we didn't open back inside fully until sometime in July. And then it was a capped capacity. So it's been tough, and then they closed us back on August 17th was our last day open. And we tried to do carry out and that went okay. But our business model was live entertainment and great food. And so, without that live entertainment piece, it's like, okay, am I going to order from downtown Homewood, you know, so it's been tough for us. And so literally we're just now opening again. Tomorrow. But we're opening.
Right, but you're opening.
So.
And so we talked about the struggles and how is it like you said your program is called what again?
It was Kingdom Performing Arts Academy, but I actually closed it because I did that for 10 years working with kids, and I just realized that I love growing with my kids. And now the kids that I have worked with over the years, you know, from when I was a children's pastor to what I did KPA2, they're grown. And so those are still the kids that I minister to. They're just grown kids.
How does it feel having a couple of your kids right here, seeing them all grown up?
You know, it's a little mind blowing. I feel a little older. Not old, but older. Yeah, no, but it is. Honestly, it's a great feeling to see everybody doing so well and pursuing their dreams and going hard after what they want to do is amazing, you know. And then, of course, because I'm an arts person, when I see folks in the arts, that just makes my heart leap. So it's wonderful.
Let's get back to this food. So what are like some of your go-to meals? Like if you like, I'm going in here, I'm about to cook mine. What is your go-to meal?
One of my favorite meals is grilled salmon.
Okay.
I love me some grilled salmon, some sauteed spinach, and some garlic mashed potatoes.
Yeah, that's
if
the
I
staple.
want to spend some time in the kitchen because I got some things that's really heavy on my mind, then I'm probably gonna go real hard on some soul food.
Okay.
But
so that's like your outlet. So like cooking is like your outlet when you got something going on in your mind or something. Okay. Yeah. Get your ingredients going and get your.
Yeah, it helps me to cope with life. I'm not gonna even lie to you. It helps me to balance out and to be able to say, okay, this is gonna help me refocus and go back in there and make this happen. Because like Cherie was saying, when COVID hit, it didn't just hit because we had a new restaurant. It changed everybody's life.
Right.
It changed everything for everybody. And it wasn't that because it was just the restaurant, but my other job. You know, I got to work a regular job in order to work this job.
Right.
We have to put that on the table too, because people are thinking that just because you're a new business owner now and everything, you got to work this to make this happen. And so I've learned. People always say to me, how are you dealing with COVID? I've learned how to live in a whole new way. But my saying for me now is, when you have been handled lemons, turn it into lemonade.
Okay.
And so we did not let that stop us or say, you know what, we just gonna close and we just gonna hope a good day come in and maybe the world will accept culture back. But no, but culture is one of the words that if I had to put under the list of culture would be how to survive.
Right.
How to make it happen, make it do what it do. And so we have learned in all of this that no matter whatever blow comes with us, you still got to fight and make this happen.
So both of y'all being entrepreneurs, how do you guys balance? Because I know you have a busy schedule, she has a busy schedule. How do you guys balance?
We argue a lot. We yell at each other a lot, you know, and I'm being real. I'm not even playing. We literally yell and fuss and argue and then come and then we smile and have a great time with culture. Okay. It has been like that our entire marriage. We've been married how long, Robert Lee?
26 years.
Yeah, 26 years. It'll be 27 years this year. But, you know, we feel like we finally found our niche.
Okay.
Because it married both of our passions. His passion is the cooking and the food. My passion is entertainment. And for us to be able to do that together, even though we drive each other crazy, it's still a good feeling. At the end of the day, we know we're on the same team. We know that, you know, we're both working towards a goal. So, you know, but now we fuss and fight about it.
So not only are y'all guys entrepreneurs, y'all birth entrepreneurs. Because I know your son does comedy, and your other daughter has a clothing line. Like, talk about that. How did y'all input that into them? Like giving them the culture to be like, hey, you can go out here and do it on your own and trust yourself.
Well, I remember one of the times that we had like a family meeting.
Okay.
And we all came together. And one of the things for me, especially as a Black man, is what am I going to leave my family?
Mm-hmm.
What do I have for them?
Yeah.
And so that has been really very important for me. And so you know how the word, or you hear people say, "What's the legacy?
Mm-hmm.
You know, what are you going to leave for your family?" And so that's where how that name for us came about, is we call it legacy.
Mm-hmm.
And legacy lists the different types of businesses that my family have, that we all have put in. We got a backdrop, or whatever you want to call it, a little step and repeat, that
Mm-hmm.
we list all of our businesses, and just showing us as well as the world that a family can really make this happen. And so by us all coming to the table and say, okay, this is legacy, but Robert Lee has his own catering business. Cherie has her own graphics. Sheree has her clothing line. Brianna has her event planning. Josh has his jokes. Everything is in the pot together for us to understand that this is what make up legacy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's been good. It makes me feel good as a man. It makes me feel good as a father, husband, to be able to say, hey, at least I have something to show that is a part of me.
Yeah. And now we never pushed our kids into entrepreneurship. It's just what they saw. It's what they knew. Because we're real big on following your path and your dreams. You know, as you know, we both are ordained ministers, and we never wanted to push that on our kids, because the whole thing with the PKs and all of that. So it's interesting that, Sheree is the children's pastor now. That is mind-blowing. Her having a clothing line, she's actually taught us a lot, just, the way she's gone after her dreams. And so we sat down and we're like, look, we need to make this stuff official. And so we have an actual LLC, Legacy LLC, where all the businesses, culture falls under that. All the other businesses that we have fall under that. So it's just, we didn't push it on them, but it just kind of naturally happened.
So when did y'all know, like, I wanted to be an entrepreneur? Like, when was it that day that it clicked? Like, hey, I don't want to work for nobody no more. I can do it myself. I can go out and trust myself to birth these businesses.
I don't think, how some people are like, okay, I just want to be a business owner. And I don't think that was our path. It just, for one, I tell people this all the time, the businesses that I've birthed and the businesses that we have, the first few businesses, because I was like, I don't want to pay nobody else to do it. I'm sure I could do this. The face painting business. Wait, I got to pay you how much?
Right.
Let me figure this out. That's how that started. The graphics. I would be paying people to do stuff, and then I didn't always like what they did, so I started Joshua Ray Graphics.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing I know, Elaine Murray had me down teaching the folks at AT&T how to do PowerPoint.
Right.
I literally taught myself. And so a lot of our businesses just started out of stuff that we love to do, or the need to, I not be able to afford somebody else. So, but once we realize, okay, you know what, we do this. It's kind of hard to now
to navigate out of that.
But like he said, we do what we have to do for our businesses and for our family. I get to work a job that I absolutely love. I'm A&R for an independent record label. I absolutely love curating talent and all of that. But I still work outside of what we're doing now, because we just have to make all of this work. Robert he had quit his job to do culture, and then we literally went into a pandemic. The next day he was back at work. And so I appreciate having a husband that, didn't go under a rock and in a hole and just give up. He was like, oh no, I got to take care of my family.
And that's the sacrifices that, like, people, like, they see it now, but they don't understand the sacrifice that came with you getting to here. Like,
the sacrifices that we're continuing to make.
You working 9 to 5, but y'all are all multiple business. Like, you in theater. Like, can we talk about that? Like, you in the theater working with David Ruffin and everything like that. Can we talk about that?
John Ruffin.
David Ruffin,
David Ruffin, he gone, but not.
That's the Ruffin.
So I actually, when we started Culture, because I was John Ruffin's AD, so I stopped doing that so we could concentrate on Culture. And Robert and I also have
I know he writes awesome.
Our own theater arts company called Life Live Productions, which falls under Legacy as well. Listen. So we're just waiting on this to pass so we can start doing some more things with Life Live. I actually was writing a show, and then this happened, some things that we're doing with Shekinah Glory Ministry. So we'll be doing those things, as soon as we can get over this. But yeah, theater is our love, like both of us. And it's so funny because I didn't know he loved theater. It's just kind of something, and together though, I can't even lie. It's a beast. So
maybe I can be in some of them beasts.
I would love for you too. Listen, I wish I'd have known. Listen, don't not take our call when we call you about it.
I got it right now. Call me now. But some things with you. What you got going on coming up?
Right now, because I'm gonna look in the camera because I really want to encourage somebody with this here. When they closed Culture and I quit my job, there was no income for me.
Okay.
And I'm like, God, you got to work this out. And you know how when you really know without a shadow of a doubt, I know that this is what he said to do.
Right.
And so I'm like, okay, I'll work another job, but that ain't really where I want to be at. And I'm sitting there in the room and I hear God say, start what you have inside of you. Just keep working. And I'm like, well, what do you mean by that? Meal prep came on the scene. Meal prep is bringing in an income for me to be able to make up for what I was losing with Culture. And so I'm just telling somebody, don't look at that as maybe I shouldn't have started the business. Or maybe I moved too fast. Maybe I should have just waited. I'm telling you, when you really know that this is what God has called you to do, he's going to give you other ways to do it. So with me doing the meal prep, I'm in the process of writing my own cookbook. There's 2 more plays in my belly that God is dealing with me with. People don't even know that I want to start my own clothing line. I'm just holding it on because you got to be careful who you tell your vision to.
I just told all these people though.
They don't know all of the ideas. But what I'm saying is there are things and some things that we have learned over as you're growing up, hearing keywords like passion and purpose and finding out, how they work. What's your purpose here? What's your passion here? And so what I have found out that there's 2 things that God has really called me to do, and that is being a chef. Being a chef as a pastor and being a chef in the natural of actually feeding people. And the very thing that I thought that, I'm tired of people always asking me, do you got some chicken wings? Do you got a peach cobbler? I felt like, man, you don't think I got a brain? You don't think I can do anything else? But I had to find out that that's my gift that God has given me, and I cannot be afraid to use it. So tying all of that together and the passion and the purpose and understanding what God has called me to do, I'm in my element. I'm in my niche. I don't feel like, man, I have really wasted time. And 10 years ago, I had a restaurant called More Than Enough Soul Food Cafe. And if I'd have looked back and said after 10 years, man, I just quit. I just didn't want to do it anymore. You got to spend time and find out what's a good time to start, what's the time to push it, go forward with it, and then to actually be in and to actually do it. And so after 10 years, I feel like God gave me double. Yeah. Because More Than Enough might have been the size of the stage here.
Right, it was small.
With what we had. Yeah. But look at all of this that I got now. And so I'm just thankful to God that I got it.
And he'll be doing, because he gets requests all the time for cooking lessons. And so he's going to be doing cooking classes for men. And I think that's cool because I don't cook either, but
I'm going to cook at the house too.
So, yeah, but he'll be doing some cooking classes. And
I'll be there.
Yeah.
Right. So through your journey, like we talked about the ups and downs and everything like that. And it's like everything he talked about, like he just made that little rule right there. It's like everything he do is like cooking. He put his ingredients together and then he birthed it and presented it to people. So with going forth, like how did y'all change the culture?
So it's so funny. The place that we purchased, It was already here. Pretty much everything you see here was here, all the furniture, all of that, but it was a place called Grape and Grain. And the culture was a little different. Okay. Let me just say that. The culture was a little different. Okay. And I ain't gonna say that, it just was different. But when we came in, what we noticed that our culture was waiting on something like this. And so, you know, we were able to come in, we were able to bring positive entertainment, good entertainment, live entertainment, and great food in an environment, again, where you felt safe, where you know, you could come and have a good time and then, you know, leave and not feel like, you know, you had to watch your back or you were scared or a fight was going to break out. And so we've kind of helped bring a safe culture for culture, let me say that, or the community here. And so that's one of the ways that we've done. And then what we've noticed is we've had some influences on some other establishments to start doing some of similar things. And we're not tripping on that because we feel like it's enough out here for all of us to eat.
It's the same that when they say that when the person...
Imitation is the highest form of flattery.
There you go.
Yep. And so we're honored that, you know, people look at us and say, I want that, or I want to do that. And we're like, go be great. You know, you'll never find us, I am born to be great. Yep. You'll never find us hating on people for what they're doing or saying, oh, they're trying to do what we do. Listen, there's enough folk out here. We want everybody to have a good time. Because the more people having a good time, that's the less people trying to take my car.